I would say good morning, Atiba, but I believe it's good afternoon for you.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm in Istanbul right now, so yeah, it's afternoon. How you
Well,
doing?
we are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. So I mentioned the retirement. It's been the better part of 20 years. When you look at it now, when you kind of exhale with the career behind you, does it feel complete?
Yeah, it does. It does for sure. I've had a great career, 20 years going at it, and I played with some very good clubs, and just the whole journey for me was it was a great journey. I enjoyed every moment of it, and obviously, representing Canada has always been special for me, and then to get that chance at playing at a World Cup right at the end of it, it was my dream coming true. So yeah, great career for me, and I'm happy. I left it all on the pitch every time I played, and just a great ride for me.
Yeah, I'm sure people would absolutely agree with that. To say that you left it all out there, I do want to talk about some of the stuff at the Nations League there at the end, but I just want to talk what it was like for you. We've heard from Davies and David and Estacio, guys who are part of this younger generation that are spearheading things. What it's meant for them to go through the qualification process and to make it to a World Cup. What does it mean for somebody like you who has seen the entirety of it over the length of your career? What was it like for you to kind of, and again, I understand there is some turmoil in the organization now, but what was it like for you to kind of watch it grow to that crescendo moment of a World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I went through a lot of bad moments with the team, where we felt like we had a good enough team and we just weren't, strong enough to get over the hump. And just to see the way things had, developed with these young guys coming through in my last cycle, especially at a moment where I felt like I was probably done with the national team. And probably said it to you guys before, but I got a call from John and he kept me involved. And I just kept going, one game at a time. And it ended up being another 4 years and a whole full cycle of it. And just to see where the team had come, for me, it was just a huge, a big accomplishment, a huge achievement for all of us. There was a lot of players I had played with before who had, together with me, kind of set the foundation, but we were just unfortunate not to get to a World Cup and for it to happen, with me being one of the last ones and being that piece that kind of just gelled everything together. It was a huge relief. I always dreamt of playing in the World Cup, and I think I would have really missed out on not playing a World Cup if I had retired without doing it.
So, Atiba, we know the destination, right? You're on the pitch in Qatar. You're playing with and against some of the best players in the world. But I wonder, when you reflect on where you came from and the first steps with the national team and how far this program has come, do you remember like your first introduction to the men's national team, what the situation was, what the surroundings were, what the level of talent was? And when you reflect on 20 years, like how far you've actually come and how far this program's come?
Yeah, I mean we've come a very very long way. Yeah, going into the team, we had good players around, but yeah, we didn't have enough players playing at high levels throughout Europe. If you look at the team now, there's players that have been winning championships with good clubs in Europe. One player just recently won a Champions League and continues to win the league over and over. Other players just in bigger clubs in Europe as well, just have that experience of and know how to win a championship. Whereas when I first came into the team, we had a few players that were playing in Europe. Nobody that was really competing to win championships. We had Starley, Paul Sauter, that won a championship with Werder Bremen, but just a big difference in where the team is now and the magnitude of clubs that players are playing at. So that helps. You need to have players in your squad that know what it takes to win. Important games, to win championships, and all of that kind of just came together. So over the 20 years, we've just seen how the program has gotten better and better. And as I said, the last 4 years, it's just been a great missing piece that we didn't have before, where everybody just came together well and kind of just took off from there.
Yeah, that's something everybody can relate to, right? I mean, we can't all relate to the highs of, being the captain of your national team and eventually one day playing in a World Cup. But we all, have a job and we're working, and maybe there's that one thing you need, or you're putting together a family and you're looking for that person. Like, we all can kind of relate to having that one missing piece. It's so nice that you say, as you say, you were able to get it there. Fan Morning Show, Brent Gunning, Justin Cuthbert, very, very happy to be talking with former national team captain Atiba Hutchinson right now. Looking forward at the future of the program, I mean, obviously you can look back fondly and, let's be honest, unfondly at times. As you said, it wasn't always the smoothest of rides. How do you feel about the future of Canada soccer as a whole? And, I understand most of that, with your opinion, is going to go to the players and, the young guys that you did get a chance to play with. But what is your belief of the continued ability of Canada soccer to have success? And I think a lot of people are wondering that because, I think a lot of people were sucked in during the World Cup run, and now they're seeing all these stories of financial problems, and there just seems to be a lot of kind of trouble swirling. What's your opinion on the kind of current state of the national program and where it'll be going forward?
Well, I think the sky's the limit for the team. I think, as I said, there's just so much talent, and we have a lot of depth now. If there's a few players missing now, you can easily replace players now where we didn't have that. We didn't have that option before. So to see where we've come now, it's great, and I think we're going to continue to get better and better, and big things will continue to happen for the team. In terms of the other stuff, I think we've got a lot of work to do. I think the players and the board need to come together, and things need to get solved. We do our part on the pitch, and we do as much as we can and try to focus on what's going on, on the pitch. That's all we can really do. But I think things need to get settled and things to just get moving in the right direction. Hopefully that will happen, because I think there's just so much potential for the program, not just at the men's and women's level, but from the grassroots. So hopefully those things will fall into place and things will start looking on the bright side.
What needs to happen before 2026, Atiba? I mean, from our standpoint, it looks like an institution it's failing its athletes to a certain extent. What do you guys need to see happen in order for the Davies and the David and the Estacios to have their best chance to put their best foot forward in 2026 on home soil?
The players need to just be focused on the football. The business side needs to get taken care of. I think it's been spoken about, quite a bit. There's deals that have been made, and I think these are the things that need to get, solved, where these guys can come together and figure out a way to move forward, which is best for everybody that's involved. Without saying too much, I think that's just the way it needs to go, because nobody's winning this way. So it's kind of crippling everybody.
Feel free to correct the record on this. I think when a lot of people look at the noise swirling around Canada soccer, one moment they point to is you not getting on the pitch in the Nations League. You are at the last two games there. You obviously had intimated this was going to be, your send-off tournament, and it's not just about you, of course. I hear the way you talk about this team, and of course you care about it, but let's be honest, they could have found a way to get you on the pitch there. You talk about Herdman and the respect you have from there, so I don't think that this is coming from some place of bad blood or anything like that, but I think a lot of people were pretty surprised to see you not get in at the end there. Do you have any ill feelings about that, or do you want to maybe calm the rumors? Because I think a lot of people think you're pretty upset about that, or at least that they would be if they were in your shoes.
No, to be honest, I had spoken with John about it, and we were both more focused on us just getting a trophy. Where I was there to be part of the team, to be a leader as I always have been, and I was in a situation where, of course, it would have been nice to play, but I was in a situation where I hadn't been playing many games. I wasn't fit as I had been in the past. So I was going to be using that game to close out the game if needed. We were still trying to get back into the game until the very end. We still had a chance to maybe get that one goal to get us closer to equalizing, and it didn't happen in the end. So I had no hard feelings with it at all. I was very open with John about what my role would be. So of course, for me, to play that game against Panama and get that last 10, 15 minutes of playing, I was fine with that. So I had no hard feelings towards John. I mean, John has been amazing to me, and as I said it over and over, he's the one that had kept me involved in this program and giving me a big chance at playing at a World Cup. So yeah, definitely that's how I felt about it.
Well, that's great to hear, Atiba. And you mentioned, he helped keep you involved in this program, and you're on the team, and you had a role in that final. If you got to that point where you're protecting a lead, I wonder though about continued involvement. Do you want to be a part of Canada soccer moving forward? Do you want to be a part of the solution here as they work toward, putting themselves in the best position to grow as exponentially as they have? Do you want to continue working with Canada soccer in some capacity?
Well, this next little while is where I'm going to be thinking about things and where exactly, my next chapter will be. Obviously, Canada has given so much to me, and I would love to give back in any way as I could, as not being a player, but maybe somewhere at a coaching level. But, yeah, I need to put some thought into exactly what it's going to be. I'll have some talks over the next little while with John and the coaching staff and just other options around Europe as well, and then just kind of think of the best game plan and what my next step will be. But of course, I love Canada, and if I could help out in any way, down the future, that would be great for me as well.
I'm sure a lot of people are happy to hear that. And again, you'll decide what's best for your future. But, a lot of times with programs, when they begin to reach new heights, and obviously getting back to the World Cup was one. But I think, we all hope that it is the stepping stone to more. You don't want to lose touch with guys like you who helped kind of build the program up. So I think that's great to hear that you're considering that. And obviously, you'll take care of your life, and we'll see where your footballing journey carries you now that you have hung up the boots. Last one for me before I let you go. I know we talked about the World Cup and that being the pinnacle. If I'm going to ask you to just pick a single moment of your career, and we'll keep it to international stuff because I'm sure there's stuff that sticks out from your club career as well. But if I ask you to just pinpoint one single moment that stands out for you as the best moment of your international career with Canada, was it the first moment you actually stepped on the pitch at the World Cup? Was it when you had finally clinched going to a World Cup and you knew that it was going to be? Was it some other moment, maybe the first goal? What stands out? I don't know. What was it for you as far as your kind of, if it's just one single moment from your Canadian football life, what sticks out to you the most?
Yeah, it's a hard one, but I think the moment that stands out is when we were walking out onto that pitch, just because it's something that all of us have dreamt of since we were kids, and just to know that it's the first time in 36 years, and just the build up towards it, walking onto the pitch next to those guys like world-class players and knowing that the whole world is watching you, that was a special feeling, man. And, to be a captain and leading out your country onto the pitch for a World Cup, it's special.
Undoubtedly has to be a special feeling, and a lot of the guys who are out there on the pitch with you will have that feeling again in 2026. But I wonder, give us a name of someone who's going to be the next Alphonso Davies or the next Jonathan David, someone who's on the come up, someone you have experience with, someone who's not necessarily on the radar of everyone right now, who was dialed into the World Cup in November, but is going to be a huge, huge factor for Canada when the World Cup is played on home soil.
Well, we've got a number of players. The guys that you're mentioning are all still very young. So,
you don't want to upset anybody, TV? You don't want to single out one guy for us?
Yeah, it'll be hard. I think Tejan, everybody has seen what he's capable of, but I think he's got the right mentality, his work ethic. He's just very good going both ways. He likes to put in the work. I think he'll end up playing with a big club, and will probably be there for many years to come, and we'll see him on the biggest stages. And he's not too old, so probably say Tej.